She never imagined that that day, which seemed like so many others, would change her life forever. A difficult decision, a dream half realized, and a love put to the test. It would all unfold in that crucial moment, leaving Eleanor with a dilemma that would seal her fate. If you like intense and emotional stories, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next publications. But now, enjoy. Eleanor was an ambitious young woman, determined to make her big dreams come true. Growing up in the hills of Monteverde, she felt her life was destined for something bigger than that quiet town. Since she was a child, she took refuge in writing, dreaming of one day seeing her name in a book. Even though she loved the serenity of Monteverde, inside her grew a desire for adventure and new experiences that only a big city could offer. While her friends were leaving the village, one day at the bar, Eleanor met Matteo, a young man who had just arrived, who immediately caught everyone's attention. The girls talked about him as if he were a prince, fascinated by his appearance and the mystery that surrounded him. Eleanor, however, did not let herself be distracted by that gossip. She had her own goals and did not intend to deviate from that path for anyone. Yet, something about Matteo intrigued her, and that first meeting was the beginning of a series of events that would change her life forever. He wasn't the rich heir everyone thought. He worked hard to restore an old, abandoned farmhouse, and his dedication made him different from anyone Eleanor had ever met. Their meetings became more and more frequent, and over time, Eleanor realized that something special was developing between them. However, despite the growing affection, Eleanor remained focused on her dream of becoming a successful writer. She spent sleepless nights writing, hoping that sooner or later someone would notice her talent. That moment came when she received a letter from a large publishing house. They wanted to publish her book and also offered her a job as a proofreader, but there was a price to pay. She would have to move to a big city, far from Monteverde and Matteo. The news filled her with joy and fear at the same time. It was the opportunity she had always dreamed of, but it meant leaving everything she loved, including Matteo. The night Elena told Matteo the news, the atmosphere was tense. Matteo listened in silence, with a mixture of pride and sadness in his eyes. "I'm happy for you, Elena," he finally said, "but I can't hide the fact that it hurts me to think that you'll leave." Elena tried to reassure him, suggesting that he follow her to the city, but Matteo knew that his place was in Monteverde. He loved that land, the farm he was bringing back to life, and he couldn't see himself in a big city, far from his roots. Despite their love, their dreams seemed destined to take them in different directions. As she stood at a crossroads in her life, Eleanor felt the weight of the decision on her shoulders. She knew that leaving meant chasing her dream, but she feared that leaving Monteverde and Matteo behind would leave an unfillable void in her heart. In the end, she decided to follow her dream, convinced that it was the right thing to do. The morning of her departure, the town seemed quieter than usual. Elena felt the anguish growing as she said goodbye to her parents and the few friends she had left. Matteo did not show up at the station, and that silence spoke louder than 1,000 words. With a heavy heart, she boarded the train that would take her to her future, leaving behind everything she knew and loved. If the story is moving you, leave a like and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thanks for your support. The next few months were intense for Elena. Her book was published and received positive reviews. Her career as a reviewer took off quickly, and her life in the city seemed perfect. She lived in an elegant apartment, surrounded by the frenetic energy of the metropolis, but despite all her success, she felt that something was missing. The days were full, but the nights were lonely. She often found herself thinking about Monteverde, the reassuring silence of the town, and especially about Matteo. The lights of the city could not fill the void she felt inside. One day, while walking through the crowded streets, Elena stopped in front of the window of a bookstore. Her book was on display, but instead of feeling proud, a pang of nostalgia hit her. She realized that everything she had always wanted was not enough to make her happy. Success, without the love and simplicity she had left behind in Monteverde, did not give her the joy she had imagined. Elena made a decision that surprised everyone, especially herself. She decided to return to Monteverde to find her roots and the people she loved. She knew it wouldn't be easy, but she was determined to regain that authentic happiness that she had discovered was missing from her life. The return to Monteverde was a mix of emotions. She felt her heart beating fast as she got off the train. The familiar landscapes welcomed her like an old friend, but the thought of seeing Matteo again made her nervous. When she finally found herself in front of the farm, she saw Matteo working in the fields, just as he had always done. With a shy smile, she approached him. "Hi, Matteo. I'm back." Matteo turned, surprised, and his gaze softened when he saw her. "I heard you were back," he said in a voice that hid a myriad of emotions. "Why did you come back, Elena?" Elena looked into his eyes, feeling a mixture of relief and anxiety. "I realized that everything I thought would make me happy actually didn't. I realized that my happiness was here, with you, in the simplicity of the life I left behind." Matteo was silent for a moment, then smiled softly. "There's no need to apologize, Elena. You followed your dream, and if you hadn't, you would never have known that true happiness was here all along. I'm glad you're back." Elena felt a great peace invade her. She knew she had made the right choice, and that now she could build a life together with Matteo, based on what really mattered to her. A few months later, they married in a small ceremony, surrounded by friends and family who had always been a part of their lives. Their simple, welcoming home became the perfect refuge for their hearts.